All right, we'll get started. Okay. Okay, we'll get started. Thank you for being here. We'll start off first greeting you all with greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings be upon you all. My name is Jailani Hussein. I'm the Executive Director for the Council on American Islamic Relations. I'm here today with the families of the 5 beautiful young stars that we've lost. We have the parents here today and some of the siblings. We called this today's press conference to speak briefly about some of our demands, but also to hear from the families about how incredible these young 5 women were. As a community leader and someone who has been in Minnesota for over 30 plus years, this tragedy impacted our community in so many ways. And it continues to impact our community. Today you'll hear how incredible these young women were, the impact that they had on their family, but also for the larger community. You'll hear about what happened last week, which was historic to us, to see over 15 to 20,000 people gathered from the entire community to stand with these families as we buried them last week. Today, we are here to share about their stories, but also we are aware that this incident and this particular case involves a lot of things. And that is why today, with the family and all of us, we are asking the governor of the state of Minnesota to create an independent investigation into this case, to learn more about many of the conflicting information that has surfaced in this case, and to rest assure all of us that we are diligent to these cases. As I heard from the families, this is a pain that they hope will never be brought forth to any family in our state, in our country. There is a lot of information. We have seen evidence. There's other evidence that's still not clear to the family. And that is why we believe it's important in this moment to ask for an outside independent investigation into this case. That will help us answer many of the questions that the family has and as a community we have. We understand that we heard initially that the city of Minneapolis may have been investigating this matter. We're asking for that investigation to halt and to move to an independent investigation led by the state. And the main reason for that is because this incident also involved the action of the state trooper that was involved in this case. We are also extremely aware and extremely disappointed with how information was shared, specifically the no longer union boss of the Minneapolis Police Department's wife, who shared many of the information about this case. We felt that that is also part of the investigation that needs to be reviewed. There are other aspects of the investigation that we also would like to shed a light on. We also are not deaf-tuned to the fact that we are still unaware of exactly what happened with the state trooper, and we want to make sure we understand full nature of what took place that led up to that unfortunate tragedy that we are gathered here today to. And therefore, we also today call for a ban on high-speed chases. We understand that these chases have significant impact, specifically to communities of color across the state. We ask for the state, in lieu of these chases, to look at alternative responses, innovative alternative responses that could be used by law enforcement that avoid risking the lives of individuals. Outside of these, we also understand that since the state was involved, the state has to have an outside investigator, not the departments that usually may be involved in similar cases. And we expect that will give the community, the families, and all of us an assurance that there's transparency and accountability, and most importantly, looking into all of the facts that have been shared and all of the things that have come out from this incident, which we will not go into divulge. But there is enough information and misinformation about this case that warrant an independent investigation, and we ask the governor to lead that effort. Finally, I want to share the just incredible amount of support that we have received and the overwhelming pain that still exists in our community about this tragedy. This was not something small. We know many people across the world are pained by this tragedy, and it impacted all of us in many different ways. We want to thank our community who came out in support, many people who came to the cemetery. But today, as you hear from the family and the loved ones of these incredible young women, I employ and ask for our Minnesota community. Our community here in Minnesota is a very generous community, a community that cares about our community. We've received a number of people, even from our office and others, who have shared their remorse and wanted to know how they can help the families. There is a link and a way to support these young women. They had incredible ambitions that you will hear about, and they were going to be incredible people in the state. We can continue to support their family through their legacy. And so first, I would like to invite Brother Abdulghani Odawe, who's going to speak briefly about Sego, his cousin.
Hello. My name is Abdulghani Odawe, and today I stand before you to honor the life of my dear cousin, Sego. Sego was a remarkable young woman, known for her kindness and infectious laughter. She possessed a brilliant mind and limitless potential. Her ambitions drove her to work tirelessly towards her goals while she was attending MCTC with plans to transfer to the University of Minnesota. Sego's spirit was filled with determination and a passion to make a difference in the world. Sego, Siham, and Sabrina, they were inseparable, sharing a bond that transcended friendship. They were family. They were each other's pillars of strength and brought immeasurable joy to those around them. Today we mourn the loss of Sego, her bright future, her laughter, and her dreams. While our hearts are heavy with grief, we take solace in the memories we shared with Sego. We remember her as a beacon of light, and we hold on to the love she brought into our lives. Thank you for allowing me to share a glimpse of the extraordinary person Sego was. Let us honor her memory by embracing kindness, compassion, and by working towards a world where her dreams can continue to inspire others. Again, thank you so much for being here.
And now we will have Yusra Ali, who will speak about Salma.
Hello, my name is Yusra Ali, and Salma Abdelkader was my best friend and like a sister to me. I was blessed with the opportunity of meeting Salma when we were just kids in middle school. We instantly had a connection, and I was saddened when her family moved states. Fast forward to my sophomore year of high school at a new school, and suddenly as I walked into one of my classes, I surprisingly saw Salma in the same classroom. Ever since that day, we formed an unbreakable bond. We were inseparable as we were with each other all 7 days of the week. Time went on and nothing changed. We graduated high school together side by side. We graduated high school side by side and even had a graduation party together. Salma and I both were also teachers at Duxi, or otherwise known as Sunday school here. Many of the kids were impacted by her death as they adored her. She treated the kids she taught with respect and care. Salma was a kind and genuine person. She was like the therapist in our friend group. I believe this is why she was pursuing a degree in psychology at St. Paul College. Salma would listen to us talk about anything and never made us feel like we were a burden. She was also very attentive to detail when people talked to her and often put others before herself. She was also very family-oriented, as she also put family first, and she always made sure her younger siblings, were taken care of. If this meant waking up early in the morning just to take them somewhere, she would gladly do so. Although her life was tragically cut short, the memories she left with us will never be forgotten. I and our families will forever love Salma.
Now we will have Sundus Ali to talk about Sabrina.
Hi, my name is Sundus Ali. I'm the older sister of Sabrina Ali. And as I sit here trying to find the words to express the depth of love for you and the profound loss I feel, my heart aches with an unbearable sorrow. You were not just my little sister, you were my confidant, my partner in crime, and my source of endless joy. From the moment you entered this world, you brought an unmatched brightness into our lives. Your infectious laughter, your radiant smile, your boundless energy filled every room you entered, and you had a way of bringing sunshine to even the cloudiest days to all of your family and friends. The void left in my life by your passing is immeasurable, and the pain of your absence is a constant reminder of how precious our time together was. From the moment you entered this world, you brought an unmatched brightness into our lives. Your radiant smile and your boundless energy filled every room you entered. Though you were younger, you were wise beyond your years. You possessed a profound understanding of the world and an empathy that extended far beyond your young age. You were an exceptional student both in our religion and school. When you started your higher education journey, you were only in high school, attending both Edina High School and Normandale Community College. You were on the path to be a physician's assistant, and I still look at your acceptance letter in disbelief that you're no longer here to pursue your dreams. You were so bright and always wanted to help people, and you would have been truly great. I'm so sorry that you aren't here to share your knowledge and compassion with the rest of the world. You are one of the smartest people that I'll ever know. Mom, Dad, and the rest of us are always going to be so proud of you. You were the best student, daughter, sister, cousin, and aunt. Your passing has left a void that cannot be filled, but I find comfort in knowing that you are now at peace. You are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and are resting alongside your sisters. Although your time with us was tragically cut short, the impact you made in this world was profound. Your heart touched the lives of so many, and your memory will continue to inspire us. There will never be a day that goes by that I won't think about you and that I won't pray for you, and my heart will forever be broken. I love you forever and always. Love, Sundas.
Then now we'll have Ruqiyya Geseda for her sister Salma.
It's really hard to hear everybody.
Okay.
You able to talk louder?
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you all for coming. My name is Ruqiyya Gesada. I'm the younger sister of Sarah Gesada. Sarah, you are more than just my older sister. You are my guiding light, mentor, and my best friend. From the very beginning, you demonstrated an unparalleled dedication to your academics. My older sister, Sarah Gesada, majored in health sciences at the University of Minnesota, Rochester, and took all the prerequisite courses to apply for her medical school the following school year. She majored in health sciences because she always wanted to give back and help people who are in need. She always wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. Sarah was expected to graduate a complete academic school year ahead of her schedule due to her dedication to her studies. I remember how you would spend countless hours at your desk, poring over textbooks and solving complex questions. Your hard work and determination were truly inspiring. My sister got her associates at the age of 17 from Islamic University. She always excelled in academics and was always in the chancellor's list for her exponential grades and attendance. You showed me that success comes with those who persevere, and you instilled in me the belief that anything is possible with a strong work ethic. Your brilliance extended far beyond your academic achievements. As a daughter, you are a shining example of love and devotion. You made our parents so proud with your accomplishments. Not only academically, but also a compassionate human being. You're always there for them, offering support and always being understanding. Your selflessness and kindness touched the lives of everyone around you, and you taught me the true meaning of family and unconditional love. Growing up, I admired you and embraced your role as my older sister. You were not only my protector, but also my confidant. You listened to my dreams, fears, aspirations without judgment and provided guidance and encouragement at every step of the way. Your patience and empathy were unmatched. And I credit you for shaping me into the compassionate person I am today. You taught me to see good in others, to lend a helping hand whenever possible, and to treat everyone with kindness and respect. I now find myself reflecting on the lessons you taught me and the values you embodied. Your impact on my life was immeasurable, and I am forever grateful for the time we shared together. Your memory continues to bring warmth to our hearts, and we honor you by living our lives with the same integrity and passion that you did. Knowing that you are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants me ease and tranquility. The loss of my sister Gasada has left my family heartbroken. She was someone who brought laughter and love everywhere she went. Thank you, my dear sister, for being an incredible role model, an exceptional daughter, and extraordinary sister. I carry your legacy with pride, and I strive every day to make you proud. I love you, Sahara Gasada. May Allah grant you and the other beautiful sisters Jannat al-Firdaus.
Now we'll have Sundus. She will speak for her sister, Sabrina. If you can speak up a little louder.
My name is Sundus Adenadawa, and today I stand before you to share a glimpse of the beautiful life of my beloved sister, Siham Adenadawa. Siham, my sister, was the pillar of our family. She had a promising future and was pursuing a computer science degree at the University of Minnesota. While many knew her as a reserved and quiet individual, to me, she was the funniest person I knew. Siham always made sure our family was taken care of, checking in on each other. She had a deep desire to make a positive impact in our community. It breaks my heart that I won't witness her getting married, graduating from college, and growing old with her. Siham was not only my baby sister, she was my best friend. And we confided in each other with everything. These words cannot fully capture the light that Siham brought into our lives. Her absence leaves an unimaginable void that will carry with us forever. We remember her with love, and we cherish the memories we shared. Thank you for allowing me to share a glimpse of the remarkable individual Siham was. Let us honor her memory by working towards a world where her dreams can live on. I love you.
And now we'll have Abdullah Farah from Dar al-Farouk.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abdullah Farah, Abdulahi Farah, Farah. I'm one of the leaders here at Dar al-Farouk. I'm one of the board members. As you can tell, today is a difficult day. As a mosque and community center, I can say we're grappling with an immense void along with our families that cannot be ever fulfilled. For our girls, this was their home away from home. This was their hangout spot. This was their rec center, this very gym, their spiritual sanctuary. And as we support our families as they deal with this ripple effects of losing a loved one in our community, I could say each and every one of these, our sisters, our young daughters, had an immense way to impact and touch people's lives, as you heard. As a father of 4 girls and a brother of 5 sisters, I can't imagine how the families feel today as they stand here and share the loss with you today. We all know Eid is 2 days away from today. and our holiday, Eid holiday, which is we celebrate once a year, and to go through this Eid and not have your loved ones, you can only imagine. But one thing I could say is Minnesota as a whole has lost 5 gems that cannot be replaced. We firmly believe they have left a bright legacy as 5 stars in our community. We appreciate the support from our community, leaders, officials, and acknowledge the tremendous turnout that we had for their funeral, which is the largest public funeral in our community's history. We thank all those people who took part of that and who made it possible. But as moving forward, it is our collective responsibility to honor their memories by advocating for justice for them and to ensure that their legacy is always remembered. We stand united and firm with our families, and we will support them throughout this process. And as a center, and as families, these were our daughters, these were our sisters, and we will make sure that they get justice. Thank you.
As you heard from each of the family, how incredible these young women were. They were truly the best of themselves, with incredible futures, and taking advantage of every opportunity that this great state and our community offered to them. Again, I want to appreciate the incredible work that Darul Farouk and the community here have taken on with the responsibility of dealing with the aftermath of this tremendous loss. And I want to re-echo the ask that many people tonight, as they watch these families, is we as Minnesotans can come together, grieve together, but support these families who have tremendous pain in this time, and this is one way we come together. And there is a Launch Good or GoFundMe style opportunity where families and individuals across the state can support these families. I want to echo that our request for investigation. And then finally, I wanted just to recognize that we have all of the 5 fathers of these young daughters here today with us here on the right. We will have many opportunities further to have more public events. I know people have been asking for that. But as Abdullahi mentioned, this week is our high holy week. We are celebrating the Eid al-Adha. As many Muslims across the world are in the Hajj. Muslims will be fasting tomorrow, and on Wednesday we'll have Eid prayers. And so we will be, as a community, grieving, but we'll also be making prayers for these families and as a community. So with that, I would like to open up for some Q&A for that.
Jaylani, you mentioned in your introduction that there was some conflicting information that came out in the immediate days after this tragedy. Can you be a little more specific about what specifically is conflicting?
There is conflicting information on different levels. I would say the one aspect about whether it was a chase or not a chase, there are a number of other aspects that came out about what was involved, what was not involved, and then also the incredible information that was shared that usually typically has a procedural plan or process, and then having multiple people explain that in different ways. Also, who's taking on the investigation. There's just a number of things that, with this particular incident, seem to be out of order. And also, we want to make sure why we're asking for this investigation is to make sure the community, the families, and everyone to have that clear information. And we also understand that whether this was a chase or not, we know chases are deadly. They have been deadly. Just most recently in Brooklyn Center, a 6-year-old was killed after being part of an accident that was a result of a chase. So we know chases are deadly across the country, but we want to make sure right now, as we all are alleging some of this information, an investigation outside of the, pushed by the state, but an independent investigation outside of state entities will help us clear some of this information out for us.
Specifically, the questions that you would look to have answered in these, was this?
Yeah,
was this a pursuit or not?
right.
Is that the questions you have about what
Yes.
actually
Yeah.
happened here?
Yes. And we did get information from people in law enforcement, people not in law enforcement. We have information that people have been sending to us in different formats. That's why an investigation would provide a clarity on that. And we also want to make sure, as the family's interest in this, how do we prevent a tragedy like this ever happening in the state of Minnesota or anywhere else? That is the goal of the investigation, and also to hold accountability to those individuals who either violated their own policies, or to hold accountability to those who are directly or indirectly involved in this incident.
Would the fact that this alleged driver, given his history, was able to get a driver's license returned in Minnesota, is that something you'd like to see?
Yes, any and all related information about this case. So that's a question. There's multiple of these questions that have come up. We don't have clear answers. We have information, as I said, some folks within the law enforcement agencies who have given us information that we would like to see an independent investigator look at. I recognize that sometimes people just assume certain ideas of incidents. We are in the business of making sure that there's clarity, but we also understand that based on the history of law enforcement, investigating law enforcement, that's not usually the best way of addressing any situation. We want an outside investigator to look at it, and that would help everyone involved in this case to have the full facts in front of us. Just like many of the members of the media would want to know why, how were those videos released, leaked, and shared. As we know in other cases, more than likely, it's even extremely difficult, even if the family is seeking for some of this footage to even be accessible. We understand that. We have that history. So an independent investigation will clear all of that information, because everything we have so far is what we are alleging or appear to be, but an investigation can clear up that.
Jay, I need to clarify when you're calling for an independent investigation, this is not the BCA?
No, because the BCA is part of the state. They would be compromised. So an outside investigator that's not part of the state entity. The city of Minneapolis right now is the one investigating. I really do not have the confidence that the city of Minneapolis can investigate police departments after the Department of Justice's demands for them to actually look at within the issues that are involved in there.
Where did you hear that the city of Minneapolis is that?
Again, that's information we heard. Is it true? Is it not? We don't know. So that's why we're asking for an outside investigator to look at this matter.
And would that involve the FBI? Because I think they are already investigating because of the
Right.
federal charges.
So I think, yeah, there are aspects of the investigation, I would say maybe the criminal aspect of the investigation that are moving at a different pace, but we want to make sure that all of the aspects of this case are reviewed.
So are you thinking like Justice Department, or I mean, who would you want? Who is an outside entity?
Usually, when we ask for an independent outside investigator, the state would pay for someone who has experience in investigating incidents. And that person then would review and interview all of the aspects involved in that to make sure questions that are relevant to the case can be addressed. And that, again, we understand that the criminal aspect is a little bit easier to identify, but some of the other aspects involved in this case are not. And that's why we're hoping with an outside investigator we can get those answers.
So outside of
Usually, if this was one department, the BCA would handle that. But right now, the BCA is part entity of the state troopers system. That's why we're asking for outside.
So outside of
No, I think law enforcement has reached out in multiple different formats, obviously to share the condolences of what's going on, to investigate some of the other aspects involved, and we appreciate that. However, within even law enforcement, there's been information that has been conflicting, and so we want to make sure through this type of investigation we can do that, and we can request that, and that will help everyone understand exactly what happened, and some of the actions that may result based on that investigation.
Can you say yet what justice would look like for such a horrible tragedy?
Well, unfortunately, nothing will ever bring back these beautiful sisters. But what we hope to learn is enough information to prevent the next tragedy like this. So if we cannot get full justice for what the families would like to see their children again, celebrating with them this Eid, then the next best thing is never to carry the burden that they're carrying on another family because they failed to speak up or they failed to do something about it. And that's the sentiment of the parents. Markan damen, inshallah. Yeah, okay.
Have you filed then the formal request or request a letter? Or
Yes, we will be reaching out to the governor's team and specifically making the request with them directly about the direction of this investigation. Okay.
Just one more question for Dr. Blackman, if you could. Can you talk a little bit more? I know so many people's hearts have been broken, and as journalists, you said this was the biggest response you've seen from a community in the biggest crowd. Can you kind of talk about how many people have just poured out love during this time?
Yes, I think starting from community members, community leaders, we've had, in social media outpouring support from the larger community. We've had different faith centers reach out. We have had elected officials come and, our own community elected officials, the officers have, reached out also and helped us with making the funeral as we were trying to transport the bodies from here to the Burnsville. And so overall, it's just been, we had 3 days of people just coming, in crowds and crowds here to the center to give condolences to the families. But overall, I believe people have been reaching out from all 5 continents, really, to, that we're heartbroken about what happened. And really, but the families are really the ones who really truly are dealing with the loss, and our center is also because this has been their center. This is where they grew up, and so we appreciate all that outpour and support, but we continue to support the families because we have a long journey ahead of us.
As Abdullah mentioned, they were active in their community.
Yes.
The Sunday school here is missing 2 teachers, and those students are now going to be dealing with the fact that their teachers did not come back. Just incredible work that these young women did together. Wherever they were someone loved, respected, and increasingly high achieving. And what that means for these families is that they were the future of this family, the support, the incredible things that they were going to bring. So it's a tremendous loss for our community. And from what I heard from all the parents here, the fathers, they do not want this ever to happen again. And that's why we want to make sure everything is fully understood. We can answer some Somali questions. Okay. Okay. We're transitioning to Somali, so if you want to. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Waxa weeyaan gudoomiyaha hay'adda CAIR Minnesota Jilaan Maxamed Xuseen maanta waxaan taaganahay shir jaraa'id oo aan u taaganahay inaanu ka hadalno dibtii ugu xanuun badan ugu dhacday reer Minnesota 5 gabdhood oo quruxda badnaada runtii dibtaasi ku dhacday maanta waxaanu ka hadalnay gabdhahaas oo walaalahood ay ka hadleen runtii taariikhdoodii yeehaayeen waxaan kaloo maanta aan dalbanay baaritaan ka madax bannaan hay'adaha ama laamaha amniga oo aan rabno inaan ogaano dibtaa dhacday sida u dhacday yaa ku lahaa arrimo badan baa ka soo baxay sidii dhibtan u dhacday oo khilaaf keenay marka waxaan maanta ka dalbanay governorka stateka Minnesota in uu sameeyo baaritaan ka baxsan xafiiskiisa oo ay soo afjarayso arrimaha ku saabsan dembigan dhacay iyo dhibtan dhacday waxaan kaloo gaar aan u weydiisanay jaaliyadda reer Minnesota iyo gaar ahaan dadka muslimiinta ee Soomaaliya meel walba joogaan maanta reerkaas iyo reerahaas waxay u baahan taageer in wixii qof walba uu ku qaban karo ka qabto insha Allah sidii ay u dareemaan sidii maalintii aaskaba aan xoog u nimaanay in ay dadkuna runtii ay garab taagan yihiin sidii gabdhaha iyo reeraha loo taageeri lahaa insha Allah Abdullah Faarax والدينتم الله يديمك
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم maanta waxaa meeshan ka hadlayay familiyadii gabdhaheennii ayaga oo insha Allah fursad u heli doono inay nala maarkino aan sheekooyinkoodii ama xasuustoodii inay la sheergareeyaan dadka Soomaaliyeed iyo dadka muslimiinta meel kasta ay joogaan insha Allah maanta waxay muhiimadda ahayd in gabdhaha laga hadlo maarkino maxaa la dhahaa taariikhdoodii iyo yay ahaayeen iyo maarkino qiimaha ay noogu fadhiyeen iyo inaan aad iyo aad uga xunnahay in maarkino gabdhaheennii maarkino ay dhibaato ku dhacday iyo maanta inay naga tageen oo run ahaantiina ciid anagoo laba beri nooga harsan tahay ciidaanay noqon doonto ciidda ugu horeysa oo gabdhaheena nala joogin marka insha Allah familiyadiina waa intay nala joogaan aabayaashii walaalihii kulli intay joogaan insha Allah ayagaana maarkino si gaar ah uga soo hadli doono mid gabdhaha kulligood iyo taariikhdoodii insha Allah
Okay, inshallah. Thank you so much. We'll conclude with that. Thank you.